Hi guys, this is Pestily and welcome to another Escape for Tarkov video. Today I have the patch notes for 0.16.7. Servers have got down for 6 hours, and by the time you're watching this, hopefully the servers will be back up or in only a few more hours. I'm going to read out through the patch notes, explain everything going on, and so without further ado, let's crack straight into it. Alright, so starting off, the actual roadmap says it's meant to be the summer weather season. It doesn't say anything in these patch notes at the summer weather season, but it could actually just happen and we'll load in and the weather will be changed and it'll be the summer season, which hopefully means less rain, clearer days, and just more overall enjoyment of being able to snipe and shoot across maps. As for changes, they've implemented changes to optimize the performance in various parts of reserve, so hopefully increasing our FPS. Audio. Now, I am always terrified when it comes to audio, but as a part of this update, the audio engine system and its individual subsystems have been significantly expanded to provide a more immersive Escape from Tarkov experience. I talk about this a lot. Tarkov has this big issue of it being like a competitive game, but also like an immersive game. And so BSG lean more towards the immersive factor, which makes it very confusing because like in real life, when you're walking through a room or a building and you hear people moving about, you have more factors and ways of being able to understand where someone is compared to in the world of Escape from Tarkov, where you literally just have like a left and right ear to hear from. And it gets very confusing, particularly in places like dorms, 3-story dorms, and inside the resort. You don't know what floor they're on, you don't know what direction they're in, and it gets very confusing. I am not excited for this, but hey, you never know. Fingers crossed, it'll be better. All right, but I just wanted to like precurse the audio part with this, particularly seeing that they said to add to them and provide a more immersive experience. It's like back in the day, you could throw a grenade and you'd know, oh, the grenade went off over there. Now, it actually sounds like it comes from inside you. The current version has gone through several stages of testing, however, it is still not final. So you may encounter unexpected audio behavior in various situations. This stage, it is necessary to collect feedback and do more tests on a diverse variety of players, hardware, and software. We are already preparing a set of fixes for upcoming updates, and your feedback and detailed issue reports will help us in refining and stabilizing the system for all players. Just hearing that alone makes me go, well, why wouldn't they just wait until they could have a stable version of the updates and fixes already in? Because if they've already identified issues, why not? We're just going to reiterate that, and it's just going to cause frustration for us. But I'm sure they're just trying to get to timelines and deadlines of them posting, in time. The other thing to note here is a diverse variety of players, hardware, and software. I believe the sound system also drives or takes away from our frames. So the more systems, subsystems, modules they add to this game, the less FPS that we get. All right, readjusted the sound system that checks for obstructions between the listener and the source. Improved the sound processing between the listener and the source when the source was behind obstacles, uneven terrain, rocks, vehicles, crates, and other environmental elements. Fixed several issues where various sounds were processed and muffled incorrectly. Improved the sound penetration processing inside and outside interiors with walls of different thickness. Improved the sound penetration processing between floors of buildings and on stairwells. Improved the occlusion of interactive windows and doors. Reduced the loudness of bushes in first and third person. And fixed the cause of the missing announcer warnings upon using the interactive buttons in the lab. Improved the sound occlusions on various locations to enhance the detail. So, touched on a lot of the points I already brought up. Occlusion zones, interactive with windows and doors. So that's what I was saying about how not being able to hear easily because of like doorways and floors and all that kind of stuff, which is also where they talked about sound penetration between floors and buildings and stairwells. Occlusion zones is really what makes Escape from Tarkov's audio the most confusing out of everything. If you're on a stairwell, they'll put an occlusion zone there, so it's like you can't hear them because they're upstairs, but then you'll move up the stairwell until you can physically see them, you won't hear them, and that's where you go. Like, I have so many clips of me going, where is the audio? Where a guy literally comes up the stairwell and just shoots me. I'm hoping this is like, I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm actually just trying to explain it so you guys understand. But I just really hope that with all these changes and fixes and improvements, it actually is better. Perfect world scenario, I can go back to dorms and be confident where a player is moving around whilst I'm in dorms. Because in the past, it used to be one of my favorite places to fight people. Right now, I avoid it like the plague. I only go there when I have a quest I have to do, and then I avoid it because it is so brutal trying to figure out where they are based off the audio alone. AI, improve the interactions of bots with doors. So we've seen plenty of instances of bots walking straight through doors. PMC bots will now try to avoid areas where the location bosses initially spawn and are less likely to engage in combat with them. So this is to do with the PvE version of the game. So what would actually happen, particularly on, say, something like woods, you'd spawn in on PvE, woods, the boss would be there, and the AI PMCs around the map would have natural like patrolling paths through the lumber mill and just kill Sturman straight away. So if you're playing as PvE, you would have no chance of being able to kill Sturman because it's literally just had PMCs spawn next to him and kill him straight away. Fix several issues where bots could walk downstairs or other uneven surfaces faster than usual. Fix the cause of bots appearing in the air or in the ground. Fixed specific situations in which bots would tilt their weapon upwards for no reason. So that's, I don't know if that is no reason or not. Sometimes they track people through walls. Yeah, maybe there's other situations I'm not thinking of. Fix the issues in which boss guards and PMC bots were friendly to each other. So another PvE thing. I really wish they would actually have a separate list of changes, like PvP specific, PvE specific, or both. Instead of it being like, because people would be reading this and go, I don't understand why the bosses are meant to be friendly to me. When was that? So yeah, it's more of that. Fixed issues, several issues in which the goons would appear on multiple locations at the same time in PvE. Wait, you could have two lots of goons on the same map? All right, over to quality of life. Added an item search window with the ability to find items in a stash by category or by name. So say, for example, you're looking for a specific weapon, you could write AK-47 or whatever, and it will show you highlight all the AKs within the weapon, within the stash, or it'll bring up a list of them. So much easier to find specific items. Say you're looking for a condensed milk, it should be a good quality of life addition. Eyewear and masks with the flash protection stat now reduce the glare effects from light sources. Items with this stat have been also rebalanced. I believe, unless I'm mistaken, if I go to here, it says reduce flashlight glare when wearing glasses. So I'm hoping it's to do with that, because at the moment, if you're not wearing glasses, but if someone puts a flashlight in your direction, it's literally blinding. Like it's over the top. It's not enjoyable experience. Added the display of in-game raid time when pressing O key by default. So this is where if you press O or double tap O, where it would usually say there's 43 minutes left to your raid or 12 minutes left to your raid, it's also going to tell you the time of day. So if you're doing a task like Insomnia, where you're going to get kills between 2100 and 0600, you can say, oh, it's still 5 a.m. So I've still got an hour to get kills. Or you're doing chumming and it's between 10 p.m. and 10 a.m. You'll be able to tell what time of day it is to get your chumming kills. So just a nice little quality of life. So if you're specifically trying to get like PMC kills and you're like, oh, I just need to wait a little bit for Insomnia, or I've got to get my kills right now because Insomnia is going to run out, it's going to help with that. Added the ability to automatically convert currency if you're not having enough when purchasing an item. So you want to buy like M67 grenades or Peacekeeper items and you don't have any USD, it'll automatically convert the rubles to USD. Same with euros. Added a highlighting of attachments that are available for purchase from traders on the weapon build screen. So I'm assuming this is where you go to like edit preset and you'll have all the weapon parts that you can pick from. It'll say which ones are currently available from traders. I think that's what this will be. I could be wrong. It might actually just be from the traders on the weapon build screen. No, that makes sense. I think that's how it's going to be. Added the ability to pin tasks at the top of the list on the task tab. This will be really good for when you're doing stuff like Shooter Born in Heaven. Or say you're going to a map to do 3 specific tasks, but because the way tasks work, some tasks can be done on multiple maps, like Shooter Born in Heaven. You could pin Shooter Born at the top of the list. You could pin Punisher Part 5 to the top of the list. So like while you're in reserve trying to get Punisher Part 5 done, you're not constantly scrolling up and down trying to find Punisher Part 5. So if you're in a map specifically for a specific reason, it'll help with that. And it's a nice little quality of life. I like that. Added a warning when attempting to start a raid with a task item in the inventory. Nice little handy thing. So you don't, accidentally go back into a raid before handing in a quest item. Rebalance the sensitivity and zooming ability of optic sights. This one I am a little bit nervous about. So, the zooming ability is good. Obviously, anything that can make it so we can zoom more or less is better. Unless obviously they're nerfing it, then that's going to be a painful thing. But the sensitivity thing's a little bit painful for people like me who has a lot of hours in the game, or I'm sure a lot of people out there do have a lot of hours in the game, and their muscle memory is built to certain sensitivities while zooming in on sights. So this could take a little bit to getting used to. It would be cool to have, I think it's PUBG, where it's like 1x sights, 2x sights, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 12, 24, and different sensitivities, and you could play around with that however you want. That would be nice, but I don't think BSG is ever going to put those kind of settings in. Improve the usability of specific sights, specific optical and thermal sights. This could mean a million different things. Fingers crossed. This is a big fingers crossed. This would be really great if it's FPS, all right? So refresh rates of thermal sights, so they're not so clunky, but just FPS in general. So the way sights work in Escape from Tarkov, think of it as your actual playing is like a monitor, a screen, right? When you use a sight, an optical sight, it's rendering a video. It's like a picture in picture. So it's putting another video on top of the actual previous video. So that's how optic sights work in Escape from Tarkov. And that's why we have such a negative FPS when we use anything above a 1x. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this helps with FPS. Anything else is a bonus, really. Added nade protection for Redut series body armors, the Redut M and Redut T5. The cost of these armors have been adjusted, so it looks like they make them more expensive. But that's the big green one. It's like a class 5 armor. Can't remember Redut M. Off the top of my head, I feel like it's like the press looking armor. I could be wrong. Transition to another location will now count for all tasks with an objective to survive and extract. So this wasn't like all tasks, this was some. So for example, in the past, you could do the guide by just transitioning between maps. However, some tasks where it was like, I don't know, like plant an item or an extract. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. Say it's like revision for streets, and then you have to mark the 3 BTRs and then survive the raid. I don't think that one you have to survive the raid, but just say, for example, you do. That's one, if you were to do it and then transition, sometimes it wouldn't say you would survive the raid. So now, you actually will have the survive the raid completed. Rebalance the operation of the RSH-G2 rocket launcher. Honestly, just removed from the game. I don't know. I don't personally like it. I don't think I've actually shot one in the game yet. But you know what would be really cool? Rebalance the operation. That if you shoot it indoors and you don't have it pointed with its PBDA pointed like out a window that's open, you should just knock yourself out and die. Because if you shoot a rocket launcher inside and that, you should just knock yourself unconscious. All right, over to fixes. Fixed a significant number of visual issues on customs and reserve. Fixed the cause of concussion when a landmine explodes at a great distance from a player. Fixed a bug that caused the smoke from the smoke grenade to be visible to the observer if the player pulled the grenade but cancelled the throw. So this was a massive thing on labs where there was a way that you could drop a green smoke, and then for you couldn't see it, but everyone else that was in the raid saw green smoke. And you could do this with one smoke grenade over and over again. So you could literally just cover the whole area, which was pretty funny, but also a fairly decent abuse of a bug. Fix the display of smoke grenades in the character's hand after thrown. Fix the hands freezing after using a medkit or stimulant while unarmed. Fix the reason of the missing search skill point accrual when searching containers. So search skill had a big issue of late. So it would only count when you were searching bodies of PMCs and scavs for either pockets, backpacks, or rigs. If you searched a weapon crate or a filing cabinet or a duffel bag or anything else, it didn't count towards the search skill. Only bodies of PMCs and scavs. So I hope that's fixed. It actually counts everything again. Otherwise, I'm assuming it's going to be they've just fixed the tooltip to actually say only bodies of players and scavs. And when I say players and scavs, I mean like rogues, bosses, raiders, cultists, etc. Fix the operation of the bonuses from the hideout management skill. Cool. Fix the incorrect display of the hideout zones in PvE, which were previously built by player in PvP. Fix the ability to start crafts with missing ingredients at the elite level of the crafting skill. Fix the ability to use items from the hideout mannequins in PvE for stashing them during tasks. Fix the tactical clothing getting reset if selected on Ragman Services tab. Fix the incorrect third-person hand animation if the player switched to underbarrel grenade launcher and walked into an obstacle. Fix the inability to pick up an item as a scav in certain cases. Fix the cause of the weapon becoming slightly larger when inspecting the KAC-10 round magazine. Interesting. Fix a bug where repair kits locked in the player's stash would still get used for repairing armor and weapons. Fix the cause of missing explosions and disappearing tripwires in PvE. Fix the cause of tasks getting auto restarted in certain cases. Didn't know about this one. Fix the case of error 703 quest not found. Fix the display of durability for items needed for tasks. Wait. Fix the display of durability for items needed for tasks. Okay, well, guess we'll wait and see if that's to do with Salt good or not. Fix the damage of the bots shooting through the BTR. Yeah, so bots, when they say bots, they mean scavs and all that, right? They could be on the other side of the BTR and you cannot shoot at them and they'll just be able to shoot straight through the BTR and hit you. Fix the cause of the BTR not aggroing at players who shot at it with a RSHG-2, which is the rocket launcher. Fix the incorrect display of prestige icons for players with a long nickname. Fix the JSON passing error on game startup for some players. And fix the star called Sun achievement icon. And that's it. That is everything in this patch. Honestly, like, there's not a lot of content involved in it. There is a large audio overhaul and some improvements to the AI and quality of life stuff. A lot of bug fixes. It was never meant to be like a huge content patch. It never said that it was. I'm hoping that the summer weather season is still coming. That would be really cool. I actually prefer I hate rain in Tarkov. I know some people like it as a way to be able to, you know, avoid stuff and get around and all that, but quality of life stuff, I've been big on quality of life stuff since, I don't know, 2018. I've always wanted more of it in the game, and this quality of life stuff really does make me happy. Things to look forward to in the future. So now Nikita said that there will be one more wipe before release, which is against what he previously said in Tarkov TV, where he said, I'm confident he said, I have to go back and find it, that the next wipe would be with 1.0, but it looks like, in my opinion, that based off this, if this patch is here, they're going to add it. One of these next patches, I guess, will have the wipe, and then obviously 1.0 will be somewhere towards November, December. That would be my theory. But it is good to see that they're actually on track with the actual patch coming out, and I do hope that the summer weather season is there. 2 more things that are meant to happen this month, and they've got 7 days. And some people are saying that I'm like being a little bit childish about it. I really don't think it's being childish, like saying that if they say they're going to do something, that calling him out that they should be doing it, right? So BSG have said literally right here, an updated iteration of the roadmap will be published in June 2025. I want to see that updated roadmap. Just me personally, I would like to see it. It doesn't have to be anything more extreme. Just if these dates are being adjusted, it would be nice, and maybe a little bit more locked in with this 1.0 date. Number 2, and this is the one that people have been saying that I'm a little bit, like, being a bit childish about, but honestly, this is like one of the most important dates of the year for me, okay? Nikita said during his Tarkov TV podcast that Q2 2025 meant in Q2 of 2025, they were giving us the 1.0 date. So in the next 7 days, BSG is going to be giving us, or they should be giving us, the date for 1.0. Some people are saying I'm being childish by calling them out and saying, where is it? I want to know, or being excited at least. I'm excited for this date. Date comes out, I plan out, you know, the end of my year at some point, and I could plan some holidays, plan a big event. I actually want to fly probably somewhere between 4 and 8 creators to my studio for 1.0 for a big celebration party, right? That's kind of my plan at the moment. I don't have any more plan than that, but realistically, that would be something I'd really like to do, because for me, this has been a large part of my life. It's also like my favorite game of all time, and it just means a lot to me to actually like celebrate 1.0, and the sooner I can get a date for 1.0, the better. So yeah, some people are being like, what about waiting? Be patient. I've waited 8 years. It was his word, not mine. That's just how I'm leaving it. But anyway, patch 16.7, it's out, or it will be out in the next 6 hours or less now by the time this video goes live. And hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I'll be filming a little bit more Escape from Tarkov, the hardcore playthrough. That's going up on the Pestily TV channel. I've got it pretty much filmed to the end of July, and I'm hoping that hoping that the wipe will be somewhere around the end of July, because I don't want to over-film it and then have episodes going out to all the way to August when there's a new series coming out. Anyway, that's it for this one. Like and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Let me know what you guys think of the patch notes. And lastly, guys, I'll see you next time.